Papa, please, I didn't steal anything. I didn't take the money.
Chike screamed, his voice breaking with each strike of his father's belt. His stepmother, Adana, stood in the doorway with her arms crossed, watching with cold satisfaction. "You see what I told you, Emeka,"
she said to Chike's father.
"I told you this boy is a thief. I counted the money 3 times. 20,000 naira is missing from my purse."
I didn't take it, Papa.
Chike cried, his small body trembling.
I was in school. Ask my teacher.
But Emeka, his father, was too angry to listen. His eyes were red with rage, and the smell of palm wine was heavy on his breath.
Liar. You think 'cause your mother spoils you, you can steal in my house?
Chike's mother, Ngozi, burst from the kitchen.
Emeka, please stop. You're going to kill him. He's just a child.
Stay out of this, woman.
Emeka shouted, raising his hand toward her. But Ngozi didn't step back.
I know my son. Chike would never steal.
The sharp crack of Emeka's palm across Ngozi's face filled the compound. She stumbled backward, tears streaming down her face.
Papa, no! Don't touch Mama!
Chike screamed, forgetting his own pain. Emeka grabbed Chike by his torn shirt and threw him against the mud wall so hard that the boy's head made a sickening thud. That night, as Chike lay on his sleeping mat, his back burning from the welts, his mother sat beside him cleaning his wounds.
Mama, I didn't take her money. I swear by my life.
He whispered.
I know, my son. Your stepmother doesn't like us living here.
Then let's leave, Mama. Let's run away tonight.
Ngozi shook her head, tears falling.
I am married, my son. We must endure.
But Papa doesn't love us, Mama. He believes our lies.
Your father is confused. The drink makes him angry, and she fills his ears with poison.
But lying there with his body aching and heartbroken, Chike made a decision that would change his life forever. If his father didn't want him, he would leave alone. As his mother finally fell asleep, Chike stared at the ceiling and planned his escape. Tomorrow, before the sun rose, he would be gone forever. Before dawn, Chike crept from his sleeping mat. He gathered his only possessions, his school uniform and 15 naira realized from selling oranges, and slipped out into the darkness. At the park where he waited for morning, the Harmattan wind was cold, but for the first time in months, he felt peace. No one could hurt him here. When he heard trucks rumbling toward the city, Chike ran to the road. A driver heading to Aba took pity on the wounded boy and let him hide in the back. As the truck pulled away, Chike watched his village disappear. His mother would find his mat empty and cry, but maybe she would understand. He did this because he loved her too much to watch her suffer because of him. The famous Ariaria market in Aba hit Chike like a wall of sound and smell. Thousands of people, endless noise, the smell of generators and roasted plantain. He had never seen so many people in one place. His first week on the streets taught him survival. He learned to wake before police patrols, find food in restaurant garbage, avoid bullies, and sleep with one eye open. Other street children showed him the rules. Never trust adults who promise help. Always hide some money. Never tell your real story.
Why won't they give me work?
He asked Kelechi, an older street boy who became his friend.
Because you look like what you are, a homeless boy with nothing. Nobody trusts people with nothing.
On his 10th day, Chike saw something that changed everything. A well-dressed businessman was scolding his apprentice.
I give you food, shelter, training, and you repay me by being lazy. Remember, a lot of boys would kill for your position.
This was the apprenticeship system practices in the great market of Aba his teacher had told him about. If he could convince one of these traders to take him on, he could learn skills and eventually start his own business. Chike stood up, brushed dust off his torn uniform, and walked toward Chief Okoro's electronics shop. It was dangerous. He could be rejected or humiliated. But anything was better than sleeping on cement and eating from garbage.
What do you want, small boy?
Chief Okoro asked without looking up from counting the bundles of naira notes in front of him.
Sir, I want to work for you.
Chief Okoro finally looked up. This boy was different from other street children. His eyes held determination, not desperation.
Work for me? What can you do?
I can read and write very well, sir. I finished primary 6. I can keep records, calculate percentages, and speak good English for your foreign customers.
Chief Okoro studied him carefully, then stood up and asked,
Where are your parents?
They are all dead, sir.
The lie came easily now.
If I take you in, you will work harder than ever before. You will wake at 5 a.m., sleep at 10 p.m., do whatever I say without question. You will not steal, lie, or bring shame to my name. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I promise.
You start with the lowest work sweeping, carrying, arranging goods. No salary for the first year you will be learning. Do you understand?
Chike's heart soared. Food every day, shelter, a chance to learn.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Don't thank me yet, boy. Most children run back to their villages within 6 months. What is your name?
Chike, sir.
Welcome to Chief Okoro Electronics. Your new life starts now. I hope you don't disappoint me.
2 years transformed Chike from a frightened street boy into Chief Okoro's most valuable apprentice. His mind became like a calculator. His English improved dramatically, and customers began requesting the small boy who explains things well.
Chike,
Chief Okoro called one morning.
today you will handle your first solo customer.
His customer was a middle-aged woman buying a taxi radio. Instead of just listing prices, Chike told her stories about each radio, which taxi drivers preferred, which models, and why.
This expensive one belongs to Mr. Emeka near the motor park. He bought it 1 year ago and it still works perfectly. This medium one is what most drivers choose strong enough, but costs less. The cheap one will disappoint you. You'll spend more repairing it than you saved buying it.
The woman chose the medium radio and left completely satisfied. Chief Okoro watched in amazement. This boy had natural talent that couldn't be taught.
You sold better than boys who've been here 4 years.
Chief Okoro said that evening.
Tomorrow you handle the morning shift alone.
Over the following months, Chike proved his worth. Sales increased 20% in his section. More importantly, he learned the deeper secrets, how to identify fake electronics, negotiate with suppliers, predict popular products, and manage money perfectly.
You have a gift, Chike. Not just for selling, but for understanding business. You think like a trader, not an employee.
Chief Okoro told him.
Thank you, sir. You have taught me well.
Your apprenticeship was supposed to last 4 years, but you're ready now. Next month, I'll start paying you 5,000 naira monthly.
5,000 naira. More money than Chike had ever imagined. He could start saving, planning for his future, maybe even send something to his mother. That night, lying on his slim bed, Chike thought about his journey. 2 years ago, he was eating from garbage. Now he was trusted with expensive electronics and earning salary. But he also thought about his mother, still trapped with his father and stepmother. Soon, he told himself, he would have enough money to bring her to safety. He had no way of knowing that his master was already planning to betray him. 3 years had passed since Chike arrived as a hungry street boy. Now 16, he had become Chief Okoro's most trusted apprentice. Customers specifically requested him, suppliers respected his opinion, and other shop owners had noticed the young man with the sharp mind and honest dealing. But success sometimes breeds jealousy in those who should celebrate it most.
Chike, I need to travel to Lagos unexpectedly. You'll manage the shop until tomorrow evening.
This wasn't unusual. Chief Okoro had trusted Chike many times before.
I'm expecting a large payment from Mr. Okafor today, 200,000 naira for the hotel electronics. Collect it and keep it in the safe. Don't deposit until I return. I want to count it personally.
That afternoon, Mr. Okafor arrived with an envelope thick with cash. 200,000 naira, as promised. Tell Chief Okoro this completes our hotel business. Chike counted the money twice, then locked it in the safe exactly as instructed. He wrote a detailed note and filed it with the day's transactions. The next evening, Chief Okoro returned looking tired and stressed.
How did everything go?
Very well, sir. Mr. Okafor paid the 200,000. I counted it and locked it in the safe exactly as you said.
They walked to the safe. Chief Okoro opened it, looked inside, then froze.
Chike, where is the money?
It's right there, sir. In the envelope where I put it.
Are you telling me someone opened my safe, took 200,000 naira, and replaced it with newspapers?
Sir, I swear on my life, I put the real money in that envelope.
Chief Okoro's face was cold fury.
Only 3 people know this combination. Me, my wife, and you. My wife was in Lagos with me. That leaves only one person.
Chief, please, you know me. In 3 years, have I ever taken even one kobo? Why would I steal now?
But Chief Okoro wasn't listening. He was thinking about his own financial problems, loans due, supplier payments, school fees. 200,000 naira could solve his immediate problems. And who would believe a former street boy over a respected businessman?
Chike, I trusted you like my own son. I gave you everything: food, shelter, training, opportunities. And this is how you repay me?
Sir, please, I didn't take that money. Someone is setting me up. Please believe me.
The evidence speaks for itself. You were the only one here. Pack your things and get out of my shop. Get out of my sight. And don't let me see you in this market again, or I'll have you arrested.
The words hit Chike like physical blows. After 3 years of loyalty, hard work, treating this man like the father he never had, he was being thrown out like a common criminal. With tears streaming down his face, Chike gathered his belongings into the same wrapper he had carried when he first arrived. As he walked toward the door, he heard Chief Okoro speaking to the other apprentices.
Let this be a lesson. Never trust anyone completely. Even those you think you know can betray you when money is involved.
Outside, standing where he had first begged for opportunity 3 years earlier, Chike looked up at the Chief Okoro electronic sign and made a vow.
I will prove my innocence. And I will build something greater than anything you have ever imagined.
As he walked away, Chike didn't know that Chief Okoro was watching from the window, guilt heavy in his heart. The money was hidden in his bedroom. He had taken it himself, while Chike served customers, knowing no one would believe a street boy over a respected trader. But looking at the broken expression on the young man's face, Chief Okoro almost called him back. Almost. 3 days after Chief Okoro threw him out, Chike stood under a zinc roof watching rain turn Abba's red earth into mud rivers. This time was worse than his first arrival. Then he had nothing to lose. Now he had tasted success, respect, purpose. Having that ripped away was like losing a limb. Word spread quickly about the apprentice who stole from his master. In a community built on trust, Chike's name became mud.
I heard he took 200,000,
whispered street children as he passed. His old friend Kelechi found him behind the restaurant where they once searched for scraps.
Did you really steal from Chief Okoro?
Kelechi asked.
No, I never took anything. Not one kobo in 3 years.
Then why?
'Cause he needed someone to blame for his own theft. A poor boy's word means nothing against a rich man's lies.
What will you do now?
For the first time since leaving his village, Chike truly didn't know.
You could go back to your village.
Never. I'd rather die in these streets than return as a failure.
Kelechi stood up and looked at his friend.
Do you remember what you told me when you first came to the streets? You said you would never be powerless again.
That was before I learnt power can be taken by lies.
No, power is not what others give you. Power is what you refuse to let them take. You can take a man's job, money, reputation, but you cannot take what he has learned, what he knows, what he can do with his own hands.
Something stirred in Chike's chest, not hope, but something harder.
I have no capital. You need money to start a business.
You need big money for big business, but you can start small. very small.
Over several hours, as rain continued, Kelechi laid out a simple plan. Using his electronics knowledge, Chike could start repairing small items, radios, phones, appliances, work from the streets, charge low prices that big shops couldn't match.
Apprentices and small traders can't afford big repair shops, but they can pay small money for good repairs.
I don't have tools.
We'll find tools. Apprentices and other trades will lend for percentage of profits.
Kelechi grinned.
And if I fail?
Brother, you're sleeping in rain behind a restaurant. How much more can you fail?
That night, listening to rain on zinc above, Chike made a decision that will change everything. He wouldn't let Chief Okoro's betrayal end his story. It would begin a new chapter. By morning, the rain had stopped, and Chike was ready to start over again. The corner under the big mango tree became Chike's first office. Just a wooden crate for borrowed tools and old tarpaulin for protection from sun and rain. From this humble spot, he began rebuilding his life, one broken radio at a time. His first customer was Mama Adeze, a vegetable seller whose radio had stopped working.
How much to fix this?
She asked suspiciously. She'd heard rumors about him being a thief.
20 naira if I can fix it. Nothing if I cannot.
The established repair shops charged 50 naira minimum, so Mama Adeze decided to try the young man. Chike opened the radio carefully. The problem was simple, a loose wire disconnected from the speaker. 5 minutes later, it worked perfectly.
You fixed it? Just like that?
Small problems can make big troubles if not fixed properly.
She paid and left amazed. By evening, she told 3 other market women about the young repairman who charged fair prices and did good work. Within 2 weeks, Chike earned 50 to 100 naira daily, enough for food and shared room rent. More importantly, he was building reputation based on honest work and fair dealing. But his success didn't go unnoticed. 3 older boys approached his corner apprentices from Chief Okoro's shop and other electronic stores. So, this is the famous thief who thinks he can start his own business, said Emeka, Chief Okoro's senior apprentice. I am not a thief, and you know it. Our masters aren't happy about you taking customers from legitimate businesses. They sent us with a message. What message? Stop working in this market. Find another place. The young apprentice whose phone Chike was repairing looked nervous. This was trouble that could make customers afraid. This is a free market. Anyone can work here if they're honest and skilled. Honest? Emeka laughed bitterly. From someone who stole 200,000 from the man who treated him like a son. Other people stopped to listen. This was the moment Chike had dreaded, when his past would destroy his future. But instead of cowering, Chike did something unexpected. He finished repairing the phone, tested it perfectly, handed it back. 20 naira. The customer paid quickly and left. Then Chike stood and looked Emeka directly in the eyes. You want the truth about that money? Ask Chief Okoro why he needed 200,000 so badly that he destroyed someone who served him faithfully for 3 years. You're calling our master a liar? I'm calling him a thief who blamed his theft on someone who couldn't defend himself. The accusation was so bold that even Emeka was shocked. Apprentices simply didn't accuse masters publicly. You're finished in this market. We'll make sure no one brings business to you. Try, Chike said simply. But remember, I fix what's broken honestly and charge fair prices. If you want to compete, improve your service. Don't try to destroy mine. As the boys left muttering threats, Mama Adeze approached. Young man, I don't know what happened between you and Chief Okoro, but you fixed my radio perfectly, charged fairly, and treated me with respect. That's all I care about. By day's end, 5 more customers had brought electronics for repair. Word was spreading that the young street entrepreneur stood up to intimidation and backed his words with excellent work. That night, counting 80 naira, his best day ever, Chike thought about his confrontation. He'd taken a huge risk publicly accusing Chief Okoro. The man could ruin him completely, or have him arrested. But Chike was no longer the frightened boy who fled his father's compound or the betrayed apprentice thrown out in disgrace. He was becoming something new, a man who refused to be broken by lies or intimidated by power. 4 years transformed Chike's corner into the most trusted electronics repair service in our area market. Now 22, he had 3 apprentices, a proper stall, and reputation extending beyond Aba. Oga Chike, called Obina, his first apprentice, the man from Onitsha, is here with his generator. Mr. Nwosu, a wealthy businessman, had driven an hour to bring his expensive generator. 3 different Onitsha shops couldn't fix this properly. My business is suffering. Chike examined the complex machine. The other repairmen treated symptoms, not the cause. They replaced working parts and ignored the real problem deep inside. 3 hours later, the generator ran perfectly. Mr. Nwosu tested it thoroughly, amazement growing. Young man, you have a gift. Have you thought about trading new electronics instead of just repairs? With your knowledge and business sense, you could become a major trader. That evening, walking through the market, Chike studied established shops with new eyes. At Chief Okoro's shop, business seemed slower. The chief looked older, more stressed, less confident. Their eyes met across the marketplace. For a moment, both stared the master who destroyed his best apprentice and the apprentice who rose from those ashes. Chief Okoro looked away first. Chike decided to start trading new electronics alongside repairs, but differently, focusing on value and service, educating customers, offering fair prices with clear explanations, providing after-sales support others ignored. Within 6 months, Chike Electronics and Repairs became the fastest-growing market business. At 25, he owned 3 shops, a beautiful house, and his name was spoken with respect throughout the commercial community. The day he married Adaora was his happiest. She was beautiful, educated, from a good family. More importantly, she believed in his vision. "You're going to be a wonderful husband and father," she whispered during their ceremony, eyes shining with love. Chike felt his life was finally complete. He had built a business, earned respect, found love. The wounded boy who fled his father's compound had become a man any parent would be proud to call their son. But as months passed, a shadow crept into their happiness. Adaora's first pregnancy ended in miscarriage. The second lasted longer before they lost the baby. The third gave them 7 months of hope before delivering a son who lived only 2 hours. "Why does this keep happening?" Adaora sobbed in his arms. The 4th miscarriage broke something inside both of them. Adaora became distant, spending hours staring or praying. Chike worked 16-hour days to avoid thinking about their empty home. "Maybe children aren't in God's plan for us," Adaora said one evening, voice flat. That night, as she slept fitfully, Chike questioned everything about justice, reward, and divine purpose. He had overcome poverty, betrayal, every obstacle. But this inability to create new life felt like a curse he couldn't understand. The next morning, Pastor Ezekiel from his wife's church saw his troubled face. "You carry a heavy burden. What troubles your spirit?" Chike poured out his heart, the miscarriages, his wife's despair, his growing doubt about whether God was punishing him. "Sometimes our past fights against our future," Pastor Ezekiel said. "Sometimes the foundation we build on has cracks that only show when we try to build something new." "What do you mean?" "Tell me about your family, where you came from." For 15 years, Chike had told everyone his parents were dead, but something in the pastor's kind eyes made him speak honestly. The whole story came out: his father's violence, stepmother's lies, the beating that drove him away, his mother's refusal to leave. "And in 15 years, you've never returned? Never tried to reconcile? Never brought your mother to share your success?" "My father doesn't deserve forgiveness, and my mother chose to stay with him instead of coming with me." What if that choice wasn't about love for your father, but love for you? What if she stayed, not because she didn't want to come, but because she knew two people running would be caught and punished more harshly than one small boy, who might escape and build a better life? The question hit Chike like a physical blow. In 15 years, he'd never considered that possibility. Son, you cannot build a solid future on a broken foundation. Your past is fighting your present. Until you face what you left behind, until you make peace with your beginning, you may never find the peace you seek. That evening, surrounded by symbols of his success, Chike made the hardest decision of his adult life. It was time to go home. Chike's hands shook on the steering wheel as he drove through dusty roads of his childhood. 15 years had changed everything and nothing. Same red earth, palm trees, scattered houses. But now he saw it from behind the wheel of his Mercedes, wearing clothes worth more than most villagers earned yearly. The compound looked smaller, more run down than he remembered. Cracked walls, peeling paint, overgrown weeds. Not a successful family's home. He parked outside the gate and sat gathering courage. Children from neighboring compounds stared at the expensive car. "Can I help you?" asked a young woman, appearing from behind the house. About 20, thin but pretty, he didn't recognize her. "I'm looking for the Emeka family. This used to be their compound. This is still their compound. Who are you?" Before Chike could answer, an older woman appeared. Time hadn't been kind to Adana, his stepmother. Gray hair, worry-lined face, faded clothes. But her eyes were the same, cold, calculating. She recognized him immediately. "So, the runaway has returned. Look at your fine clothes and fancy car. Did you come to mock us in our poverty? Where is my father?" "Your father is dead. Died 3 years ago. Drinking and sickness took him." The news hit harder than expected. Despite everything, part of him had hoped for reconciliation, to hear his father say he was proud. "And my mother? Your precious mother?" "She's in the back room, sick and useless like always." Chike pushed past his stepmother. The house was smaller, darker than remembered. Poverty and sickness hung in the air. In the smallest back room, he found her. Ngozi lay on a thin mat, covered by a wrapper mended so many times it was more patches than original fabric. She'd lost so much weight she looked like a shadow. But seeing him, her eyes filled with tears of joy. "Chike, my son, is it really you?" He knelt beside her mat, taking her thin hands. "Yes, Mama, I came back. I knew you would. I knew one day you'd come back for me. I've been waiting." "Mama, why didn't you come with me that night? Why did you stay?" Tears flowed down her sunken cheeks. "My son, you were 10 years old. If we'd both run, they would have found us and brought us back. Your father would have killed you for embarrassing him. I stayed so you could escape and live." Pastor Ezekiel had been right. His mother's choice hadn't been about loyalty to his father, it was about love for her son. "I sent money many times over the years. Did you never receive it?" She shook her head weakly. "She told me no one sent anything. Said you'd forgotten us." In the doorway, Adana listened. Her face showed no shame for lies told or money kept. "Mama, I'm taking you away from here. Today, right now, you're coming home with me. My son, I'm too old, too sick. I'll only be a burden. You are my mother. You sacrificed everything for me. Now let me take care of you." Gently, Chike lifted his mother from her mat. She weighed almost nothing, like a bird. As he carried her toward his car, Adana and her children followed, shocked and desperate. "Wait! What about us? We're family too. Your father's other children." Chike turned to the woman who made his childhood a nightmare, who stole money meant for his dying mother, who never showed kindness or remorse. "You are not my family. You never were." "But we're poor. We have nothing. How can you take her and leave us?" "The same way you left a 10-year-old boy with nothing after beating him for crimes he didn't commit." As Chike placed his mother gently in the passenger seat, she looked up with wonder. My son, you've become a great man. I became the man you raised me to be, Mama. Everything good in me came from you. Driving away, Chike saw Adana in the rearview mirror, standing in the dusty yard, finally understanding that years of cruelty had cost her everything. His mother was safe now. She would spend her remaining days in comfort and dignity, surrounded by love instead of abuse. But his father was dead, taking any chance of reconciliation. Some wounds could only be healed in the next life. The transformation in Ngozi was miraculous. Within weeks, proper medical care, nutritious food, and loving attention restored color to her cheeks and strength to her voice. She moved into the best room in Chike's house, furnished with everything she needed. My son, she said one evening on the veranda watching sunset, tell me about your wife. Chike had dreaded this conversation. How could he explain that despite all his success, he'd failed at creating new life? Her name is Adaora, Mama. She's beautiful, intelligent, kind. But we haven't been blessed with children. We've tried, but... Ngozi was quiet for a long time. Finally, she took his hand. Do you know what I prayed for every day for 15 years? That I would be safe? Yes, but more. I prayed that you would learn to forgive. Forgive who, Mama? Everyone who hurt you. Your father, your stepmother, even me for not being strong enough to protect you better. I can never forgive him, Mama. Not after what he did to you, to me? And what has that anger done for you? Has it made you happy? Given you peace? Chike felt his chest tighten. He thought about years of driving himself to succeed, building walls around his heart, never fully trusting, because he remembered how the first person who should have loved him had betrayed that trust. Your father was a broken man. His own father beat him, rejected him, made him feel worthless. He never learned to be a good father because he never had one. That doesn't excuse what he did. No, it doesn't excuse it. But understanding it might free you from carrying his pain as your own. With his mother's gentle guidance, Chike started seeing his childhood differently, not as pure victimhood, but as a complex tale of broken people trying and failing to love each other properly. He began to pray not for success or wealth, which he had, but for the ability to forgive and strength to love without fear. And slowly, miraculous things began happening. Adaora conceived again. This time, instead of living in fear, they chose to live in hope. They prayed together, supported each other through fears, celebrated each milestone. When their son was born healthy, beautiful, perfect, Chike held the tiny boy and whispered, "Your name is Emeka, named for your grandfather, but you'll be the kind of man he could have been." Ngozi, now fully recovered and glowing, held her grandson and sang the same lullabies she'd sung to Chike years ago. You see, my son, when you finally let go of the past, you make room for the future to grow. As Chike watched his mother holding his son 3 generations connected by love instead of separated by pain, he felt a peace he'd never known was possible. The wounded boy from the village had finally come home, not to a place, but to himself.